when I talk about improving health fitness, there's 3 things that I always talk about. And I call them 3 foundations, okay? And these are basically the 3 areas of your life. If you do want to feel better, look better, you have to undertake some change. Most people will have to undertake some change. And in order of importance, they are nutrition.
Okay.
That's the most important. Recovery, and then exercise, okay?
Interesting.
Now, when you mentioned sleep, that kind of falls in number 2.
Yeah, it makes
right?
sense.
Because number 1 is what we eat. I mean, what we eat really is the foundation of everything, right? They used to say it's 70% of your results. I kind of think it's more like 90, 85, 90.
Interesting.
And kind of creeps up the older we get, you know, because some of the other things change without necessarily, as we don't have as much control over certain things. Right. But what we put in our bodies has a huge, and it doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be crazy. The second thing is the recovery aspect. And you mentioned it, sleep. Sleep's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Most experts say, 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And I think that's not a bad way to go. But as I talk to more and more people, it's very clear that we have a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
Many people do. I mean, it's not unusual for me to be talking to people in their 40s, 50s that get 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to run a family. They've got a job or whatever, or it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like you're starting off behind the 8 ball if you don't get a good night's rest.
You really are, because that recovery aspect is so vital, because we usually want to focus on the bottom rung of that hierarchy, or the foundation at the bottom, which is exercise.
Yeah.
It's super important.
Sure,
It's so important. I mean, I love it. But if we're not eating well and we're not resting, recovering, working on that stress reduction, that exercise is not going to take hold, because exercise in itself is a stress.
Yeah.
And so you got a stressed out body that's not eating well, not sleeping and resting, and then let's pile some more high intensity exercise on top to try to make up for those 2. You're draining from the same well.
Oh, that's
what I mean?
So good, Brad.
Well,
that's good stuff.
Yeah, and it's just and it's not intuitive for us, because we want to do more and more and more, or we like the feeling of sweating or exercising. It feels like we're accomplishing something for people that enjoy it.
Right.
Again, if we're not in line with those other things, balanced in some sort, we could actually be setting ourselves back.
Yeah.
And this is the person that is very overweight, that can't lose weight, but exercises like a fiend.
Yeah.
The other 2 parts are probably not in line.